And it says we are live. Good morning and welcome to Free Daily Coaching Friday Free for All. We are here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, where Mr. Bert Bledsoe tackled a different topic every day, Monday through Thursday. So if you don't want to miss this awesomeness, you might want to go over to www.freedailycoaching.com and sign up so you won't miss anything. On Fridays, I get the honor of hosting, and right now we are interviewing Friends of Free Daily Coaching. Now, Friends is Bert's private coaching group, a mastermind where we meet once a week, and I get to interview this amazing group of people. And this week, I would like to welcome Mr. Clive Jeffery.
Thank you, Chris.
Get your questions ready and we'll answer them at the end. And welcome to you, Clive.
Thank you very much, Chris. I'm honored to be here.
Now, originally you were from New Zealand.
Yes, that's right.
And you had a very successful brick and mortar company over there.
Yeah, I had a printing and graphic design business, which I started back in 1990, and basically ran that along with my wife. She stepped out when we had kids. That was about 17 years ago. And then I ran it myself after that. And then when we got tired of it, I sold it in 2013, and just before we moved over to the States. So she's originally from America. I met her over here when I was backpacking around the world back in the early 80s. I took her back as a souvenir.
There you go. I'll bet she likes that.
Yeah.
Well, so you knew about having a brick and mortar business, but what drove you to start building a business online?
Well, I was looking for a change, and that's one of the basically the reasons we moved back over to the States. We used to come back quite regularly to visit my wife's family and bring the kids over for, and I think it was the end of 2012 we came over, and our kids were talking about they wanted to go to school over here and finish up their schooling here. And I was sick of my business, so we thought, no, you only live once. So we sold up everything and moved over. So when we arrived, I was looking for something to do, and it so happened that one of the real estate realtors that we were dealing with introduced me to their MLM, and I was taken with it. It was actually something that I thought, oh, this looks really interesting, and so I hopped on board, and then figured out that, well, I don't really know it. Well, I didn't know anyone over here, so I needed to figure out how to market online. So I went online searching for how to find leads and whatnot, and stumbled across one of Mark Harbert's videos, and so as they say, the rest is history.
Yes. How did you decide when you got online and you were looking around? How did you decide from all the so-called experts out there, and some of them really know what they're doing, but what method did you use to determine who you wanted to work with?
That's a good question, actually, because it was when I came over here with my printing business. I had I was always in the sales side of things. So I was, I didn't have any online skills at all. I had staff. I had graphic designers that I employed. I had our computer system was written so that all you had to do was enter the details. So I really had no computer skills at all, and so I was starting from a very basic level. And that's where I looked at lots of different options, and most of them were, you need to be quite technical. And what I found with the MLSP, when I came across that, was that it was so user friendly, and the group itself. Once I started my trial, I got involved with the group, and it was so active. Everywhere else I went to go to their group, and there would be a post from a few months ago, but in the MLSP group there was no post from a few minutes ago, and people actively responding to it. And I thought, well, this is actually real, because I sort of dabbled in a few other things prior to that, and you wouldn't hear, once you signed up for it, you didn't hear anything. So I really liked that aspect of it, because I knew that I needed to be around people that were going through the same things I was, and so that they could help me, learn what I needed to learn, basically.
That's a really good answer, and there is a very, very active community. In fact, a lot of us here use this same educational platform, and you recently reached the level of L1 leader.
Yes, yeah, so that was cool. I actually met Bert. I hadn't been in MLSP long, and I met Bert, and I sort of started working with him basically straight away, in 3 daily coaching, right from the get-go. And I think I haven't missed too many mornings since. I try and get here every day, and that's even like a closer knit community than the actual MLSP community. So it's like a community within the community, and I found that the relationships I've been managed to build within 3 daily coaching have been the foundation that's really kept me going, because I believe we've come really close with the likes of yourself and a bunch of the other regulars, and literally have spoken to a lot of them one-on-one, and then to actually meet them all on Live the Dream was really, really cool. So that you really realise that they are real people. They're facing the same struggles that we are, and to be able to work together and cheer each other on is really cool. And so it's really helped. It sort of keeps you going, because it can be quite a lonely and quite daunting task when you're learning new things, especially in our baby boomer demographic. I probably learned more in the last 2 years than I've learned in the 20 years prior to that, and that's without exaggerating. I really hadn't learned much at all. So it's great to be able to learn in this environment that's so supportive, and I really give a lot of my success that I've achieved so far to the 3 daily coaching group itself, because of the relationships I've been able to build there.
You heard it here, guys. We are awesome.
Yep.
Does your wife help in the online business at all?
No, not at all. She doesn't want anything to do with it. She's really supportive. No, she supports me 100%, but no, she doesn't want to do it at all. She's not interested.
She's not.
Nah. Which is cool.
I don't know if you heard Diane Hockman the other night.
Yes, I did.
After hearing what she said about how she raised her children, have you thought about bringing your children on board?
Yeah, definitely. My son, he's really good. He's 15 now. I mean, I wish I had his skills. He's amazing. So whenever I get stuck with a lot of stuff, I call him in and he can sort it out. Especially even with hardware issues, he's really good at that type of thing. He's right into programming. He's Microsoft certified. He's Photoshop certified already. He's an online gamer. He games, and he has like 200 plus live viewers whenever he's online gaming. So he's got quite a following there. He's going to be a little celebrity online. So he's a hard act to follow.
You should look into doing the YouTube thing with the gamer.
Yeah, no, he's got all that as well. So no, he's definitely. So I'm trying to encourage him. He hasn't grasped the concept of building his list. I'm trying to get him to realize the value in that, and that to get away from these platforms that he doesn't own and start building his own list. Because he has people that he makes money by people subscribing to his, so that they can watch him game. So it's amazing how the technology is changing things, and just really, I'm pretty sure that he will never have a job. He'll be self-employed right from the get-go.
Isn't that nice to have those kind of options?
Most definitely.
Lately, I've really been getting into Miracle Morning for network marketers.
Right.
And in the new year, I plan to implement a lot of them. What does your morning routine look like?
Yeah, it's basically, I got after Live the Dream. Kate McShay mentioned that Miracle Morning book, and I got that and went through it. And yeah, I love that book itself, myself. But the 5 o'clock start, I haven't managed to master that yet. But normally it starts with my wife. When I get up, I sort of basically just help, make sure the kids get out of the house and off to school. And then my wife actually volunteers at a animal rescue. So once she's gone, then so normally my day normally starts about 9 o'clock, and I then do listen to some personal development, and then which normally leads me through to free daily coaching, which is so it's 10 a.m. Eastern where I am. And so once I've done that, I do so that's sort of I put that as part of my my learning for the day is what I'm going through, and then I normally prepare my content based around something I've learned from that. And I also make sure that I listen to the MLSP wake up call. And so then I start actively doing my content for the day around about once 11:30, once the free daily the MLSP training call is done, and get that out of the way, and then start doing the prospecting and whatnot in the afternoon.
Okay, what type of prospecting are you doing, and where are you basically doing it?
I predominantly work with Facebook. I do have, I have a Twitter account and an Instagram account and all that kind of stuff, but I don't do a whole lot with those. When I send an email to my list, it always goes out onto my Twitter account as well. But I specifically work with Facebook, and I just use the Diane and Bert technique of meeting people every day, and try to be as consistent as I can. And then that's one thing that I do need to. I could always get better at. Sometimes I don't follow through. I let myself down, but I know that's one of the New Year's goals is to be more consistent with doing it. Because whenever I look at my lead charts, you can always see the days where I haven't done it, and there's the dip in the the lead growth. So it's critical to do that. And I'm still, so that's very much an active marketing process, but I like being old school. I like being able to. I feel like I've got control of that, whereas I still get leads passively, but I haven't got to a consistent level yet. I don't do paid advertising all the time. Every now and then I do. Like when I do my own webinar every Tuesday night now, and I sometimes do a paid ad for that if I've forgotten or have not got round to marketing it passively through the week. It comes Monday and I go, I better start. I'll put a few, like $5 for a couple of days to try and drive a bit of traffic to that.
So what kind of results have you been getting from webinars?
I've probably been doing it for about a couple of months now. I've got some regular, a couple of real regular attendees, and the results have been good. I noticed the views, which was quite surprising, on my YouTube videos after I've done them is quite like almost it's virtually double of the number of attendees that I get. But I think it's just one of those things that it's going to takes a bit of time to get people used to coming along, and but it's been a really good experience. It really makes you focus. You have to get your webinar prepared. It takes a bit of doing that, because I prepare PowerPoints for them to keep myself on track, and so and I've I think it's going forward. It's going to be it's going to keep me even more focused. I want to just keep providing value and growing my audience that way, and giving them a reason to come out on a Tuesday night.
Now on Facebook, are you going into any groups?
I do. Yep. I was looking at I think it was a while back. People started using that Facebook groups post, and I looked into that, and I joined a whole bunch of groups, but I never actually got involved with that. And it was because I've always been wary about using posting tools, and rightly or wrongly, and so now I still do everything manually. I do promote, like if I have my webinar, I'll promote my links in a bunch of different groups. But I'm actually prospecting. I use groups or pages rather for well-known network marketers, and interact with the people there. I particularly like Eric Worre, Todd Falcone, the older guys, sort of like Jeffrey Combs, Tim Sales, those kind of guys that are sort of more in my age bracket. I find that their audiences are probably going to be closer to my age and be able to relate with them better rather than the younger ones. Which there's still lots of people talk about Kylo and Charles, those kind of guys, but they're very much a younger demographic. And, it's quite not really my market at all. So Eric Worre, and I just do the standard approach of just connecting and without any with any goal as far as the time get them. It's just a matter of introducing yourself and getting to know them, and then they invariably ask what you're up to, and then they go from there, get them on your newsletter, and that's just how basically I've managed to get to L1.
That's great. So what other books have been an influence in your life, and how have they affected how you do business?
I actually got introduced to audiobooks by Mark Harbert, and that I love audiobooks. I get 2 a month, and I've been doing that for over a year now. And there's some that I really, really like, and one that I'm not sure if one of the ones that I really like is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one, but he actually wrote that one just after he wrote Think and Grow Rich in the 30s. But it wasn't released and published until 2011 because initially it was so controversial. His wife didn't want him to produce it while she was still alive. And then when she passed, it went on, and he passed, it went on to his son, I believe, and his wife didn't want it released either. So it didn't finally it was still held by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and they finally released it in 2011. And it's bizarre when you go through it, the topics and things that he talks about could quite easily be in today's. Well, it literally is the same things. Like he talks about how bad smoking is for you, and it from the 30s. It's just really it was well ahead of its time, and just with the circumstances in the world itself going on today, it's so relevant. So that's a really good one. I can thoroughly recommend that one.
That was Outwitting the Devil, right?
Yeah, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Basically, he has a conversation with the devil, but the devil, and that being that, that voice in your head is basically what he's talking about. Whenever you self-doubt and all those things you go through in life, those inner conversations, he's basically has that, but the conversation he's having it with is he calls it the devil essentially, and it's a really interesting way, a creative way of getting the message across, I found. And I think for me, I reckon that it would be hard work to actually read that book, but to listen to it in an audio, it's I say entertaining is probably the wrong word, but it certainly gets you, it's gripping. And I've gone through that quite a few times. That's one of my favorites.
There's actually a 6-hour one on YouTube.
Is that right? Okay.
Okay, and what else?
My other favorite one is by Les Brown, and what the hell is it called? The Power of Purpose by Les Brown. That's awesome. It's basically a collection of his speeches, and that's amazing. I listen to that one regularly. Some of my other favorites, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Wayne Dyer. Another one is The Big Leap. If you haven't read that one, it's a really good one. And also The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. That really goes on about if you have problems with procrastination. That's a really good one. I could go on and on. I've got so many that I love. The Secret Code of Success by Noah St. John. It's a really good one, where he talks about the difference between affirmations and afformations, where affirmations is basically where you say what you want to do, but you ask it as a question. Why am I so good at doing this, rather than saying I am good at doing this? Because that sometimes there's a conflict mentally, because if you're striving for something and you put it in the present tense, there's an inner conflict to say, well, I'm not rich and successful yet. So if you have an affirmation, say, I am rich and successful, for example, you might have an inner conflict with that. But if you ask it in a question form, and he came up with the term affirmation, so if you say, why am I rich and successful, then your brain can't help but try and figure out the answer to that, and it will look for reasons why you are. And it's a really interesting take on things. So that's another really good one.
That is great. I just added a couple to my list.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of good ones. Now, if you just want uplifting things, chicken soup for the soul is a really good one.
Yeah, I read a lot of those.
Cybernetics. Now, that's another good one too. If you haven't read that one, that's a really good one. Lots of stuff by John Maxwell. And then Grant Cardone. So if you want more like, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but like Sell and Be Sold and the 10X, those are a couple of really good ones. And I've just finished No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That was quite a good one. So there's lots of good ones out there. As I say, audiobooks, if you haven't got into audiobooks, I can thoroughly recommend them. Another good one I just finished too was the How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Modern Era, in the social media era, I think it's called. So it's basically been updated, and it really helps you get your head around not being spammy, essentially, and how to communicate with people and have them. It's really very much from an attraction marketing point of view, rather than just blurting stuff out there. It's putting it out in a way that you attract people and literally win friends and influence people on social media, rather than so it's been modernized, but you're still using the same core concepts from the earlier edition, but it's very relevant for today.
Sounds like that's one I definitely need to read.
Yeah. And obviously there's things like Gary Vaynerchuk's Jab, Right Hook, and Crush It. They're really good ones to get your head around social media as well.
He's a hoot.
Yeah, I really like him. But again, in audio version, it's great because with these guys that are really powerful speakers in their own right, I think it impacts me because I've never been a huge reader, but audio books, I really, really enjoy them. I go for a morning walk and listen for an hour. As part of my routine, that's when I get them in. And anytime I'm in the car, I will always have my audio books with me or on my phone so that I can keep listening while I'm driving.
Well, my dear, I have very much enjoyed talking with you this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been great.
And thank you for taking the time for us.
No, my pleasure.
On that note, if you could give one piece of advice to a new marketer, what would that be?
One piece of advice. I think I would say pick one thing. That says that in MLSP, but it's something that it takes a bit of getting your head around. That you think you're doing just one thing, but you're trying to do YouTube. I found myself trying to do YouTube, trying to do Facebook, trying to do all of this, and not doing anything very well until I really sort of thought, okay, let me concentrate on doing prospect on Facebook and just not really worry about that. Although I still kept doing videos and putting them on my blog, I didn't sort of think I've got to master them all. I did that as well as, but I thought I'm going to get my leads from Facebook. And that was quite a big, subtle mindset shift so that I wasn't worried if I didn't get leads on those other ones, because I wasn't trying to, because I was basically practicing getting content out there, but I was getting my leads from Facebook. And there was a subtle mindset shift that made a big difference to me, because I wasn't beating myself up at the end of the day, because I was saying, oh, well, obviously my videos and stuff I'm doing aren't any good because I'm not getting leads from them. But that was my goal, wasn't to get leads from them, it was just to get them out there and start practicing getting, putting myself out of my comfort zone. But I think, yeah, very much take that to heart, that you can't pick one thing and try and master it and start getting leads on that. And for your own peace of mind, if nothing else, for your own peace of mind, because I think that's whenever all you see is the stories of new people coming in. Oh, I'm overwhelmed, or I just don't know what I'm, because it's like that you're trying to drink from a fire hose. But if you really narrow it down and just worry about one little thing, you're going to get it's go slow to go fast is what Bert says, and I think that is huge.
I think that's very solid advice, and I appreciate that. If there's no questions out there, guys, let me announce next Friday is Christmas. It's Christmas Day, but I will be here. And we will have a total free-for-all. So I hope that, you'll come by and join me. My family is going out of town, and I'm going to be here all alone. So if you guys would come and join me for a little bit on Christmas morning, I'd appreciate it. And you never know, you might drop by.
Yeah, no, I'll be there for sure.
Okay. It doesn't look like there's any questions for us, Clive.
Cool.
Which means you did a good job of explaining everything.
I'll take that.
I guess we will shut this down for the day, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Love y'all. Love Clive. And everybody have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time on Free Daily Coaching.
Thanks so much for having me, Chris. It's been a real pleasure. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Clive. Bye-bye.
Bye.